Good morning. Welcome to PlugIntro. My name is Scott Forcino. I'm an associate broker with Real Brokerage out of New York City. I'm very pleased that we have with us Paul Francisco today, who's a very, very esteemed mortgage professional. He's with the Francisco team at Provisor Mortgage. Wants to share with us today the key to his success and how they work in his company and on his team to benefit others. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Scott. Thank you for this opportunity. It's always a pleasure to be able to share with others. I come from a place of contribution. I spent 23 years in the military and the government, and was able to move up through those chains. But as I got into upper management, I kind of lived by the old Army values of be all you can be. And within that, there are 5 steps of leadership, or 5 types of leadership. I really cling to 3 of those. One, participative, and that is, I never ask anyone to do anything I'm not willing to do with them. But there's really the other 2 that's a big focus for me, is transactional and transformational. And essentially what that is I find out what makes Scott tick. What are you good at? And then I empower you, and I give you the opportunity to succeed in your own skill set. So when it comes to the real estate industry, particularly as a lender, that's the place that we come from, that place of contribution. Now, I have a unique kind of circumstance. My wife is also my business partner and my best friend, and hence why you see the pictures behind us. And I think people kind of cling to that. They like that idea of, husband and wife team. In this day and age, most husbands and wives, the common thing I hear is, I could never do that. Well, don't get me wrong. We fire each other and we don't accept each other's resignations on a daily basis. But we are a great dynamic together, I think. But this year, 2023, has been a year that I've really been reflecting a lot. There's this, if you're familiar with the CEO of Hobby Lobby, there's this book he wrote called Leadership Not by the Numbers. And what I loved about it, it came from a place of contribution. It came from a place of not trying to hold so tight the secret sauce that you don't want to empower others. And I think that in our day and age, when we think about this industry or even other businesses, people are afraid to give away things that have helped them and made them successful. But I think that's the wrong mentality. I think we need to come from a place of contribution, because when you are everybody's greatest cheerleader, for me, I'm always like, yay, I love to see people succeed. It's infectious and it's advantageous, because others see the genuineness of who you are and what you're about. And I just give you one market, the Austin area, over 18,000 realtors, and essentially 2 to 3 million people population-wise. There's plenty of business to go around. There's no reason for us to cling on to every little bit. Of course, we want to keep the people we build relationships with and so forth, and we want to continue to grow. But the thing about it is, there's way too many fish in the sea. So we can't service them all anyway. So why don't we just help our consumers, our clients, our relationships gain trust in us? And so with that said, 2023 has been a year for me to really focus on what I call community. All right. Now, that word can mean a lot of things to a lot of people, but what I'm saying specifically is community being the place that we live and do our natural rhythms in life. Don't we want good communities, good neighbors, good neighborhoods that we want to live in? I mean, that seems pretty, pretty good in our thoughts, right? I mean, that's a pretty common reality for most of us. And so my thing is I want to be known as the lenders that care about their community. So what does that mean? Let me give you a few examples. That means that we show up at city council meetings. That means we go and promote local businesses. That means we do our meetings at those local businesses. That means that we're looking for partners in that. That means we are doing community events and giving back. And so there's a few things that we're doing this year that we're really focusing on. First, I always say educate to value. So we've partnered with one of our local title companies, and we are putting on every month. We are putting on an education where it accommodates consumers that are working 9 to 5 jobs or so, that they can come later in the evening. Perhaps they're running from work to get there, so we provide refreshments, food, and the realtors to come and learn and grow. And we are doing right now. We're starting on, because my wife and I are both veterans. We're part of the Vetted VA organization, about 65,000 members, where it's not a solicitation group; it is an education group. It's to entitle to empower VA buyers and homeowners to know about their VA entitlement. We're also part of the Veteran Mortgage Advisor. We're certified in that, and a certified mortgage advisor. And anyhow, we've created these. I don't know if we could see it. Yeah. So we've created these educational booklets in that, and it really gives them our whole presentation and space to write as they go through it. And it's what is great is we'll put this on with that local title company. And if realtors come with the buyers, then we want to empower them. If they come, if buyers come and they don't have a realtor, we want to partner with those realtors and give them back those clients that they can service and do a good job with. But not only are we educating on things that we should all know in the industry, but things that a lot of people don't know. And then we want to answer those questions, and we want to make sure they're fully prepared for that home buying experience. And that's one example. I don't know if you have any thoughts, Scott, about that, or any questions.
Sure. I mean, I'm really interested, because I mean, that's the essence of this PlugIntro platform, which simply, like you're saying, allows the professional to be heard, but offers the opportunity for others, whether the consumers or colleagues or contacts or even clients, to be heard as well. They have issues, concerns, questions, and their own business to promote. It's one thing to have a broadcast, which we believe can help others in their purchases. It's another thing to create an oasis like you have, or an exchange where business owners are drawn to you. You're not searching for attention, nor are they searching for attention. We are essentially exchanging the attention, because all of our needs are being met. And I love that your company, and you specifically, evince those principles, which allows for growth. It eliminates rejection. You're really collaborating, and it eliminates the cat and mouse and the chase game, where it's an option to participate. And if you do, you can expect a lot, and a lot will be expected from you. So, I mean, I wish more people would take your approach. The phrase I love is, the candle that lights another candle never loses its light. You just add more light.
Yeah.
And we should shine their light on others, highlight someone else, give them some exposure. It's important.
Yeah, you're actually playing on something I just posted recently. As I said something to the effect of, let your light shine so brightly that you help others out of the darkness, right? And that's a good analogy which you use there. You know, in these educational events, to kind of further empower people. So we've partnered with insurance brokers. We've partnered with other local businesses, financial planners, lawyers, so forth. And so in these educational things, we're saying, hey, look, there are plenty resources out there, but a lot of times people don't know where to begin. Well, here's some local businesses in this process that we've already vetted, and we know they do good work, that you can look at, like home inspections. We have the local title companies, Del Sol Title, the the home inspectors, integrity inspections. The insurance broker is TWG Insurance. The financial planners and lawyers are both tied to the title. We have to the title company, and through others that we've met through BNI, which is another organization you can join that kind of tries to do this, but I think they severely limit themselves in that light. And so we've partnered with them, and we want to give them opportunities to have those resources available to them. But not only that, we live next to one of the largest military installations in the country. Well, we've also have our information in the housing office there. We're the only lender that is allowed to be in there because we've earned trust with them. We've also have other sources that people are looking for contractors that I've used personally to do home improvement needs. We've partnered with here in El Paso, there's Comfort Zone. That's HVAC systems and so forth. I mean, we got trusted people in all these things, but not just in that. Even in our communities, we've gone on the UTEP campus, and we're providing a service to their employees. It costs them nothing, but we're offering special discounts to help them. And that's just another way we're just trying to bring it all together. But something I want to share that we're doing that I'm really excited about on April 1st, not April Fools, but April Fun Day, April 1st at a local park that we got a city permit from 2 to 5 p.m. on a Saturday. We have invited 20 different local business vendors from in the real estate agents, space, but not just that. Local restaurants. We've got education. We have nonprofits, and I have them all coming free of charge from us. We're paying for the whole event. They're going to come, set up tables, have educational materials to hand out, and things like, it'll be family friendly, so that they might have snacks and candy and all that kind of stuff. But they're also going to contribute to the raffles. We're going to give out free raffles. So when people come, scan our QR code and we give them a meal ticket. We have a food truck. They get a free meal. We'll have live music. The park is there. We'll have a bounce house. We'll have all these vendors. And the whole community is invited absolutely free of charge to come see about local businesses, come see about what we're doing in our community, come see in one neighborhood in which we actually dwell in and do natural rhythms of life in, and hear from all these local businesses that we personally use, like my orthodontist, my dental office, my local car dealer that I go for repairs that won't gouge me, that will take care of me. They'll say, bring any car that you want to buy that's used, and we'll make sure it's good to go before you buy it. We have local wine testing, like a local business. They sell wine. They're giving out free samples for people who like that, right? We have Tropical Smoothie, who live, they located near us, and they're giving out free samples. We have Patre BM, that's a Vietnamese Filipino fusion restaurant. They're giving out free samples of food and things there. We have boba tea. We have cookie crumble or crumble cookies. Amazing cookies like this big, almost as big as my head, with amazing taste. Oh my gosh, and they're giving out, some of these businesses, they're giving out gift cards, they're giving out prizes that we're going to just, through that ticket that we gave you, we're going to announce winners. And they get enjoy that. So here we have an event. When the city or others put on these events, they charge you got to find a place to park, you pay parking, you pay maybe an entry fee. These vendors have to pay fees to go there. They spend all this money, but guess what? We're doing it as a service to our community, because we wouldn't be nothing without our community. We live in our community. We love our community. And here's the thing. We're not like Rocket Mortgage that spends millions of dollars on Super Bowl for a commercial, right? We're not those people that are, we got people in the call center just calling, trying to get numbers. We're not spending thousands of dollars at billboards, and everything we do is 100% referred base. We work with partners in the space, and we want to offer more service than we're paid for. So that's the kind of stuff that we're doing. But I even have an even more exciting thing we're doing. We want to go even further this year. So we have a couple fundraising campaigns going on with some nonprofits. And one of them that I'm super excited that we partnered with is the Westside Pregnancy Center. Now, if you can see in this picture here, I don't know if you can see it. There it is.
Again.
Yeah, so tiny maternity homes. So they have land where they're located. Everything's been given to them from churches and other organizations. They have land, they have a place. They offer not only free pregnancy tests, they have free counseling, free ultrasounds. They have resources for education for mothers to be, even with kids they already have, they can get like diapers and clothes. There's youth counseling, youth programs. There's even a free health clinic starting. And what we're trying to do this year, and it's extremely affordable on this land, is we're trying to fund 3 maternity homes on their land. And what we're doing specifically as our team is we're raising the money to build at least one of these homes on that land. And so for everybody who works with us, we're setting aside money for every transaction. So if you work with us, you get to know that good feeling inside. You are helping to fund homes for mothers who might not have a home because they chose to have a baby in this day and age when things are crazy. And I don't talk about the political stuff. There's a lot of stuff on the political side, a lot of stuff on the spiritual side to this. But here's the thing. We can all agree at the end of the day, if a mom has children and wants to have children, they should have a safe place to have,
of course,
have that child. And so right next to the police station, who offered to give free security for these places, the city granting the permit for them to build, we help fund these homes. They get built, and these mothers, and if they have children already, get to stay in these places that are safe, and they can receive all these resources for free. Now, isn't that incredible? I mean, that's an incredible opportunity.
What you've done, I'm really blown away. I mean, besides and the second part is so much more important. The philanthropic and the caring for your fellow brother or sister and citizen is paramount. I mean, that's really why we're here, to take care of our needs and provide for others. I mean, I completely agree. That's the coup de grace. That's the ultimate expression of what we're here to do and how you're using your business and your exposure that you grant others to get to that place. Regarding your events, I mean, you had me at cookies. That was the first thing I really woke up and heard, even though I'm doing my best and staying away right now. But and also local. To me, the local opportunity, it's such an interesting thing to me that we've done everything we can, all the financial backing and all the technology to get us everywhere in the globe and then across the country with the press of a button, yet your strongest connections, of course, are local. And the reason is, you mentioned the business community. They're not flakes. They're not fly by night. The law firm, the financial firm, the doctor's office is generational. When your kids are little till they're grown, that person's there. I mean, we've seen the pediatrician from when they're babies to now this age. So they're entrenched. They pay taxes. They sweep the sidewalk. The kids are in school. They're not jokers. They're really here to stay. And those are the people to serve. The thing I love the most, I mean, I think that you're speaking my PlugIntro language, is the introductions are only when people are vetted enough that you could trust that each side will benefit. If I had to ask, I'm new to this area, for a dentist, and I asked my friends whose kids have straight teeth, and I said, so who do you recommend? Now, I wasn't going to go online. I wasn't going to go in the yellow pages. I needed someone that they thought enough that they would steer me right of the professional and of me because they want to give me the right information. So what you're doing with these people who are local and entrenched and care, it's an amazing cocktail of putting people together, and it is fun. Let's have some fun too. I'm all about fun and having to get together. So when you have, and that builds on the next one, it also builds into the next email and the next, because you can't have these great events every day, every week, or even every month. So it builds. When I say, oh my God, we hung out, Paul, you're so awesome. And we knew some of the same people and we both love the same Houston football teams and stuff and all that kind of, you build a bond and it comes from an exchange of trust. I mean, you won't recommend someone who did a bad job or you don't know works or plays well with others. So between the philanthropic efforts and the emphasis on local benefit and people that are really there together. I mean, I'm happy you mentioned Rocket, which, by the way, did not have money this year for a Super Bowl ad because it did not prove beneficial. So they had to do a hard bottom line analysis. And imagine that they had to stop it, which tells you that they built no trust. It was purely transactional. They try to get really skinny on each deal, and they were looking for bargain hunters. And they were relying on AI, which I think we need more intelligence personally than we need artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
I really applaud for what your efforts. And I mean, look, what you're doing is the only way to do things going forward in the market we're in.
Yeah. You mentioned AI. AI can be good in analytics. I love analytics. It helps drive our decisions without emotions in it. And they can really enhance a business. I think it's important to have a brand, right? But if you notice me, Francisco Morgan, my last name is Francisco, right? We're the brands, right? People who trust. And that's good. But, a lot of people are concerned, well, will AI replace loan officers or real estate agents? And people are trying to push for that. But at the end of the day, we're relational. Human beings are not meant to be alone on an island all the time. Yeah. And we live in the information technology age, and everything's at the fingertips of your home with your smartphones. And people who are resourceful might be able to look up all these different businesses they're interested in and read a bunch of reviews and might get an idea. But at the end of the day, if I am coming into this community and I'm looking for a good private school, all right, there's only so many, and they cost money. So are we going to take a chance and put money in it? And, oh no, doesn't work out, and I'll go to this next one and to this next one? No, that would be ridiculous, right? Same thing with we want to go to a dental office with bedside manners, or a doctor, a family practicing doctor with bedside manners, or we want and take genuine care. Actually listen to what you have to say. I mean, think about that when you go into an emergency room. Generally, they get you in. The nurse, first they have a medical assistant, then they have a nurse. They do all your vitals, right? You run you through. You sit and wait forever and a day. And a doctor comes in for like 2 to 5 minutes, and that's it. All right. But wouldn't it be nice if you have that doctor who actually listen to your concerns and not just look at you as a part of their practicing medicine? All right. And then, let's go a little bit further into, like you saying, local, right? And I talked about community. So I'm thinking in my mind, like, here we have a plethora of options in my city, my county. There's about almost 1 million people. We border another country, another state. We're like the armpit hidden of Texas, but we're right next to New Mexico, and right next to Mexico, I can literally off the interstate see Mexico, right? And we have any given day over 1 million people back and forth through the border crossing, through the state crossings. There's a lot of businesses and a lot of services that need to be offered, and so people get on it because they want to be part of, make some money in business. But I need, if you really want to be successful in this industry or even any business, you got to step back and look at your why. Why do I want to do this? All right. We know parents want their kids to have a good education. Why? So they can be uh, functional contributions to society and hopefully have success in everything, right? So I'm thinking it from the perspective of, well, let me build up this community I live in, right? We want people, not only experts in their field, but people who have genuine care. So my why is community. It's not about having my personal jet, to I fly in my personal yacht to give some kind of presentation and how cool I am and how much money, and that actually turns me off. I don't care about that stuff. Of course, we all work to make some money, right? Hopefully to take care of our families. But what if we had a mind shift of saying, I can make a difference in my community? It only takes one step at a time. And what we're thinking about is how can we make our community better? To have places like El Paso that people want to come to. See, a lot of people don't know how amazing our particular local market is. It's called El Paso for a reason. People pass through, people don't stay. Uh, but when you get to start experiencing the beauty of the mountains, the culture, the fact that we have a culture of people, I always joke, it's like mañana. That means like when I get to it, because people are not so time driven here. More people want to be relational. They want to have those conversations. People are more friendly in genuine. We actually, for being a border city, we're one of the safest cities in America, right? And there's a lot to that, but at the end of the day, uh, there are a lot of pros to living where I live, but there's a lot of pros because we don't just service El Paso. I mean, to be very honest, in the lending world, we can do a lot more than your local realtor. We take care of the entire state. We're in every major city. But what I've tried to do is replicate these relationships in all the places we service. So these kind of events that I'm talking about we're doing here, well, guess what? We drive or fly out to these other cities and with these other local partners, and we do the same thing there. And that's where I say add more service than you're paid for. Because at the end of the day, like you said, people love local, people investing in their community and knowing that they're going to get taken care of. And so that's a difference. And that's one of the reasons why when people ask, everybody says, well, good customer service. What does that mean? What does that look like? You hear terms in our industry, you have to grind it out. I hate that. Like, what the heck does grind it out mean? I mean, time blocking. Well, that's good, but what does that look like? And that's what I do in my coaching with other people. I want to give people a roadmap to how to accomplish those things. So in our customer service experience, what that looks like is not only am I educating them to value and giving them advice as a mortgage advisor or preparing them to buy a home or sell their home and handing them off to local people, but I'm going to give them milestone updates the whole way, personal videos from me and my wife where they get to know what's next. I have a whole in-house ops team. I got a loan manager. I got a processor. I got a marketing team. I got a disclosures team. I got it all. And I did that for a reason because I want, and what I think we in this world, when we see so much hate and so many things that are just driving down our throats that are negative, we need to be ambassadors of hope. That's why a lot of times you'll see in the videos I do, it's about appealing to the heart because I want people to know that I care about you on a human level. And I think if we have more people in business in general having that kind of a mentality, what a better community would we have where we live and our natural rhythms of life. I always say this, I was a preacher, and I'm not ashamed to say that. I used to always say, live life on purpose. And what I meant by that is everything I did had an intention and a purpose behind it. And it was for a greater good. And so that's my why. And that's why I do what I do. And that's why I give back to the community that I give back to. Because at the end of the day, when I leave this world, it's not about leaving something just to my kids or my grandkids or my great grandkids. I want to leave a better mark on this world from when I lived. And I think if we can get to people to see that and to live that in their lives, we'll have better communities. And so it starts with what I can control. What I control is how I conduct business with integrity, with character, and with generosity. And if we educate to value, if we give back to our communities, if we support local business owners, that's a great step in the right direction.
Mhm.
So and that's really what I wanted to talk about today. That's kind of what you've asked the question, Scott. Why should someone work with you? At the end of the day, that's my why. That's my why for what I do. And if you love what I'm about, then you'll want to work with us. And then you just happen to get 2 for 1 with a husband and wife team.
Mhm. Well, I mean, you're looking for the people that are attracted to you based on the shared values and appreciation of the mission. Of course, you're living the model that you would like to pass on. Leadership is really teaching others to lead. And if this is a way that you can make a dent in the universe, you're not going to change the mortgage industry, but you're going to be that person that you will hope others will want to be associated with. And I believe strongly. And what's good about that, you've heard the expression, the last mile is not crowded. So when you see people in your category just blasting social media and talking about themselves, and no one gains a benefit, and that, that's really a problem, because you're talking about yourself, no one has anything to gain. And even worse, the people who don't share your values, see your principles, could actually, in a way, abuse them by thinking it's a marketing message, and your competition is really, really altering and watering down your professional message. So it's really, that's why I believe strongly in local business media, where you're creating your own tended audience of selected people who you think can benefit and share your mission. And that's really, I think, the knock on overall social media now. I have a real issue is that and I hate the phrase everyone uses, a lot of noise. Yes, it's a lot of noise, but it's a lot of people without any commission or any kind of conviction, I should say, to what they're offering. They're just doing with the crowd. They're talking about programs. They're talking about rates, that everyone has. No one explains as you do and you live why it's better for them to work with someone in that field who really considers their needs. I think it's powerful. Thank you.
You're so welcome. And I love your expression you gave at the last mile. And I think immediately of, it doesn't matter how well you start, it matters how well you finish. Right. And if you come from a place of contribution and generally want to see others succeed, you don't have to worry about your competition. In fact, I give referrals to some of my competition, because at the end of the day, it's very, very rare for someone to be good at everything in their one perspective field. And for example, hard money loans, right? That's not something that we're really good at and we have an expertise in. So I made sure I have a local lender that does hard money that's really good, has integrity, has character. And if we can't do it, I'll refer it to them. And likewise, they'll do the same for us. Mm-hmm. And that's what it should be about. I think there's a mentality, especially when people are hurting, like for those deals. In 2022, it was hard for everybody. Higher interest rates. I think the statistic was 80% of new loan officers didn't renew their licenses because they were living off the refi boom and so forth. Well, what that meant is there was a whole lot more market share to be taken. In 2022, we exceeded 2021. In fact, December, we actually had a record. It's like everybody wanted a home for Christmas. We had a record month, and we got 31 families into homes in December. And I look at it, I'm not talking about volume. I'm not talking about how much money we raise. I'm talking about families. Because at the end of the day, the dream of home ownership involves people. And we have what is most people's largest transaction they'll ever do in their life, the opportunity to make a difference for better or for worse. And for us, we want to see families take part in the American dream of home ownership. Instead of paying someone else's mortgage, they get to pay their own and build their own wealth. And that's why I have in my saying, helping homeowners and serving people one at a time to become part of the home ownership dream. And that's something that in America, especially in our capitalistic consumeristic society, but it's also an opportunity that most others in other countries don't have. So let's make this dream possible by offering more service than we're paid for. So that's all I have.
That's a beautiful, that's a beautiful mission and objective. And I see that you're reaching it, incrementally day to day, and giving yourself that opportunity to serve others through the events and through the education and the outreach. I think it's really important. So listen, I appreciate it all. I think that you're a model user and a person who really evinces those principles that we formed together in PlugIntro. We made this platform to be different. And it's really the antithesis to the social media blast and broadcast and email blast, because people really in this market, you need something to benefit them. You need to create reciprocal relations and give attention, give people a reason to pay attention. Attention is all-time scarcity right now.
Yeah.
But I thank you. You're a real pro. I'm glad to have you with our organization. You are a model user, and I hope you're a friend.
All right, Scott. Yes. So what do you think, my brother? This is what I was hoping, and this is what I was talking about, kind of being more pointed in what I'm trying to deliver, that message. Does that make sense?
Sure. This is exactly that point. It's for others to use this platform as a way to express themselves and give others the chance to express themselves. That's exactly I think that's the most productive use.
Yeah. So speaking, I know we're still recording and you can edit this, but speaking like, for example,
Hey, Sophie will cut it up.
Yeah. So for speaking tomorrow with like Keith and Judy, I want to give them the opportunity to kind of share that as well. And that's why I have 4 pointed questions that I'm looking at facilitating and wanting to do. And I say facilitate, right? Because that's what you allowed me to do. You facilitated the opportunity for me to share very specific things. And that's what my hope is to get more traction going here, starting with them, having more opportunities.
Sure.
And then
that's where
you guys come in and offer them that same opportunity within their platforms as well. I mean, I have no concern at all, like when it comes to Keith and Judy. I mean, we go, to be very honest, when they got into this, they struggled and we supported them. And we continue to support them, and they continue. Now they're 100% of their business that they can send to us goes to us. And it's creating those relationships is what I'm about. But social media, like you said, I get it. I think where I agree to disagree is you can give messages of hope to get people to hear in casting the wide net, but then there needs to be this is where I agree, there needs to be very specific platform like this to allow people to share their story and refer local and do that. And so I want to help further that mission of which you're on. And it also obviously benefits me too. But at the end of the day, I nothing replaces face-to-face interaction. That's why I spent a lot of time just this week. I went into 4 businesses and talked to them and invited them to the event, and they couldn't believe what no registration, no fee, no. This is about giving to the community, and people love that. And at the end of the day, one of the local business restaurant owners, he owns 5 restaurants. I mean, he happens to be a real estate broker too, and like he's sitting there doing the applications, helping them giving me in a platter, handing me these deals, and that's amazing, right? And but we support him. We purposely schedule meetings in his restaurant to bring them business, just like a local coffee shop called Viable Coffee. We'll do an event every month with Moms and Coffee. And in fact, that's what we're doing here later this afternoon. And so I just really like to get out there and obviously business makes me sit and I have to work, and that's why time blocking is important. Like I set specific, like this is the time I do this is the time I do that, this is the time to do that. And
that's the key to success, to give you the optimum opportunity to really get the job done. Obviously we are in lockstep on agreement on assisting. What I've done is I've seen, keep in mind, my background is to be a lawyer and to poke holes and to form arguments and to be logical. And, my knock on social media is so much now because I've gotten so deep. When I see a video, sometimes I just send it to Sophie to train her and teach her and make her appreciate the same ideas. That who sees this? And I've challenged lenders and people on Facebook when they say I disclosed, and I said, who did you want to see this? Now, if you're a lender, didn't you want realtors to see this? And if you can, which PlugIntro does, is utilizes Facebook functionality to share. And if you're a realtor and you're just throwing it out there, and the fact is you can't blame someone because it's all they know. If you're just shooting it out there and you have no intended audience, you're hoping that strangers, these are the key words, your hope, strangers, and find. If you were starving, I wouldn't hope, you wouldn't hope that like I put a sandwich nearby you and maybe you'll find it. You want it delivered to your door. So, those are some of and I'm glad you mentioned B&I. Those are some of the limitations. If you put it on social media, it dies at midnight. Your competition sees it. It's not directed at anyone, and it's also not helping anyone. You haven't earned any attention. I see women that are beautiful that are definitely get your attention, but they didn't earn my attention. There's nothing in it for me. They can't put me from one place to the next level. They can't, so that's why when the local business members that you were mentioning say, oh, this is free, because people don't give them free. And one thing that really grinds my gears, and I see it almost daily, is when these realtors, it's all about them, or I'm one of them, and so is my dear old mom, and they will give a shout out, here's to XYZ title, who made this thing. That's not helping them. That's not giving a shout out on social media, or at the end of a conference, people are putting on their coats where it's cold. And let's mention the sponsor. People are buzzing. It doesn't give them anything. And then another part I hate about that is that the sponsors and the lenders and the title companies are okay with that, because there's never been a way other than PlugIntro to turn the tables and be the one to host the platform and give the agent something. So both sides, I think, are wrong, that you're taking their money for the hotel conference room and then they get nothing and there's nothing to it. So those are the things that, really, really, I had one more thing in mind. I can't, and those are the ways that we can really, really improve on. But we can
I agree with you. Here's the thing about social media where it can be a good, powerful tool. Okay, so people work with who they know, like, and they trust. Right? And unfortunately, especially our largest population, baby boomers and millennials, and they look on social media. People think that know you and they decide they like you a lot of times on social media. And so then you got to get them from there to trusting you. And that's where, things like this is phenomenal, or doing events in person and so forth. When these local business vendors come out to my event and give them perfectly like, hey, look, Panova Dental just donated this electric touch that one of you are going to win, but let me tell you, Panova Dental, they work on my team. They work on my kids' team. The orthodontist is one of my best friends now.
Mm-hmm.
I trust them. You can trust them. I'll give that little extra thing with that. But there are three aspects. So in Facebook, specifically, for example, everybody in my not everybody, I'd say 90% of our people in our friends network, they know us, and a lot of them on a personal level. So my intended audience is being reached through that. However, when I do videos and things like that, that's casting the net wide. And it's just to, I went from December of 26 followers to 1,500 followers by just doing more of these videos and so forth. So I'm just getting people to know about us in that sense. And stories
I get that. To me, that's, we're speaking freely. That's, when people say top of mind awareness and they know us, I'm going to be honest. There's no reason to be anything but. I think that's the bare minimum. They know your name. You're not Coke. You're not Pepsi. You don't have all the money in the world to blast them forever. Where I now live in Florida, every block there's a personal injury attorney, so you know the name, but no one's recommended. So the two words I really, really can't stand are content and engagement. Now, the Super Bowl had great content. They got a lot of strangers. They blasted out a message of a great game. They didn't need anything except attention and engagement. But after the game, there was nothing left for me. So I don't like when these professionals say, I got content. I say, content? You did not give me content today. That was no content. That was you. I don't want content. Contact attracts strangers. Here's the home buying process. No, when Paul says, here's how we help you buy a house, that's not content. Now it's important to me. Content and engagement get strangers. But when you share your own experience with a concern for others' benefit, that is a personal touch. That is a reciprocal relation. Now you care. I see your face. I don't see words on a little tiny post on a free social networking site. I believe in local business media. You're not going to find is better. You're not going to find people across USA to hire or refer you. You'll find the people that know the people you know. So those are just some of the extrapolations of what people have done. They imagine some young kid. He's a young kid, so I get he doesn't get it. Oh, I'm getting viewers. I say, what are you, Lady Gaga? What is a viewer? Do they come and fill a 1003 out? I don't know what you mean, because they are accepting of the lowest level. They're hopeful, like as if I give you water. No, you want a full meal. A full meal is available if, like Paul does. But, and then I'm going to break some shoes later on today because this guy's a young guy and I know him. And I asked permission. Can I grill you? Can I challenge you? Because I noticed your post has been up for 36 hours and you got one like and it's your dad. So, your dad loves you. Forget about like. So I said, so what impact did you do? So that's my thought. I don't like content. If you read a good book, I'm taking, there's content that I'm interested in, but I'm not going to read it 10 times. But I will come back to your PlugIntro platform or your in-person events because there's something, one, in it for me, and two, that we can share. That event sounds great. I love those things. I love the going booth to booth. I love the sampling wine. I dig, that's my thing. It really is. Everyone from my wife to my friends, I'll do that on a weekend. And I get sad when it's over. I'm one of those, I know my friend has a dog that starts going crazy if you put your coat on, gets separation anxiety. I'm like, ugh, this is ending. I know it's a crazy trait, but I know my daughter has it too. they start losing it when things are ending. It's like such a crazy mental thing that you want to associate.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't go, when I go places, if it's 6, I go there 5:45 to not miss it. I'm the ultimate FOMO freaking victim. And my wife would be like, oh, 6, all right, how's 7? I go, why? Are you doing something great at home?
Yeah.
Why? But different personalities.
Yeah, so I agree with you. And I think that's why we try to gear, for example, and I put several on the plug-in platform. Like, for example, my wife does those personal touch, how she helped a home buyer and things like that. That gets people attention. And people, I mean, I know for a fact of what we've done. We've not only had people ask to join our networks, but then actually reach out to us and start working with us. And so we try to separate ourselves from that. But at the end of the day, like, that in-person thing is what we're looking for. And so that's why a lot of times, like, when we go to places in the community, we'll make videos or we'll put stuff out with that, because a lot of times people don't know about those things. And then they go there. They're like, whoa, you went here. And like the Lunar New Year event, we went and people were like, wow, I want to go to that, this and that. Or the downtown where my daughter performs for the Youth Symphony Orchestra, and we've got people who are, oh, I want to go to the next event, and so forth. So we try to generate things on a personal touch, speak to the heart, or what is local in the community, so people want to join. And so when I put on, like, for example, I've been putting this Del Sol title thing on there, and we had agents and stuff show up in the last one. Now we have maybe 3 times as many who want to come to this next one, right? Mm-hmm. But it came from a combination of doing it, telling people about it, and sharing it within our network. So a lot of people within our networks in social media are already, like, they're already following us, and not following us just to like, but they're like, dude, I really like what you're doing. I want to be a part of that. And so
I made up okay. I wanted to tell you that I bought the domain and used the hashtag lives, not likes. And I could not believe that was available. And that told me something, that no one's thinking that way. Where you are going to impact lives, you're not looking to somehow get a like. I mean, what's less personal and what's less, what takes less effort than a like? Yeah, it's just, it's crazy how the social media craze started. But I mean, one thing I was thinking is, when you're at your event, why not give them, each of the vendors and even the attendees, a chance for 30, 60, 120 second video, give them a chance to preserve their message in perpetuity on this platform or on your social media channels, feature them, give them something that they can use. I'm Scott with XYZ Cookie Cool Place, and here's what we have, and look at this 2 kids, they're munching down, they're unbelievable. Maybe it's a peanut butter chocolate thing, it's amazing, and they're size of a pie plate, that kind of thing. Or I'm an insurance company, let's compare your rates, maybe I can do better, I'll steer you. Anything is better than nothing.
Yeah. So you're actually leaning forward on what I already have set up. So my plan is, I'm bringing my videographer out there to not only do film events, but I'm gonna go to each vendor and do little clips. Tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're at and how you're taking care of your community. And so I'm actually planning on doing that. So you're gonna see some stuff come out after this event.
We call it PlugIntro for 2 reasons. I mean, you want to be heard, you want to give us the chance to be heard, but you want to plug yourself by introducing, that's the intro, by introducing others. If you introduce others, I mean, all right, let's use your event. The guy in the 3rd booth is never going to meet the guy in the 9th booth. They may not make it to each other. They may be busy giving out stuff. So really it's incumbent upon you to let the plumber know the electrician, that HVAC guy know the dentist. And that's
Right.
really, and that's what's huge to me, because you go to these national or statewide real estate conferences.
Mm-hmm.
One message I wanted to give you that I missed, and if I could, the interest and the attraction is currency. Now, locally, 12 agents, and the home inspector knows 19, and the financial planner knows a certain number, and the title company knows 33. Realtors are not objects like apples, but you can certainly, in a way, exchange introductions. I don't want to say trade, but the home inspector you can push to the people and vice versa. So that's what when I say the PlugIntro, it gives an opportunity to exchange introductions from local or industry colleagues. An industry colleague of yours is a home inspector, and they probably deal with more realtors because they do more work. They do more inspections. Yeah. So that's so important, and that's the best way to distinguish yourself.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're doing. I'm glad to hear you affirm what I've been working on.